Hi everyone! So I thought I would do a chatty get ready with me since it has been a while since I've done a chatty get ready with me. So I'm not going to do anything too crazy. I think I'm just going to do a slightly more intense version of what I've been wearing every day. Drinking tea as well. Thumbs up. When I do chatty get ready with me, I like to just kind of focus on talking and not so much what I'm doing. So I want to do stuff that I'm comfortable doing. And anyway, I had a few people mention that they liked when I did these chatty videos and I hadn't done them for a while, and it's kind of intentional. I find that like I was using chatty get ready with me as kind of a way to vent, and I was definitely oversharing things, and just I found myself getting caught in that sort of like venting vortex, we'll say, where I wasn't focusing on positive things, and I was just sort of ranting a little bit, and I don't really want to do that. So I mean, no doubt some ranting will end up coming out for sure, but I was focusing on some other content and stuff that I wanted to do. So I figured I would do sort of like a little mini life chat, and then also do some channel updates and talk about some things that I want to do going forward, and as always get feedback because that's really helpful for me. I posted on my YouTube community page and Twitter. I might have posted on Instagram, but I don't think I've posted on Instagram for a while, like a poll or something like that. I like getting feedback from people because I feel like everybody has a different thing that they're interested in, and specifically when it comes to like content creators, I feel like people are interested in different things that they see people doing, and it's really useful and helpful for me to get feedback on what it is people like, and so that I can kind of figure out ways to try and make those things happen. It doesn't mean I can do everything. Unfortunately, like there's been people who've requested videos that I simply can't do. Either videos that I used to do in the past, like hashtag 365 days of samples. I really only have a handful of skincare stuff left. So it makes doing those kind of videos impossible. When I was constantly buying stuff and I constantly had new samples coming in, like there were more samples coming in than samples were being used up. And I haven't placed an order. Now I placed, well, like I said, one order from Sephora this year, and that those samples I think I might have already used, because I've been trying to, when I can, I try and request stuff like foundation samples and stuff that I'm like running low on, so that I can use it that way and be smart about the samples coming in, but it makes it difficult anyway. And I know like a lot of the things people like watching are not things that I can do weekly. So a lot of people like the fantasy palettes, those fictional palette creations, which I really enjoy doing, but I can't do them weekly. I'm aiming at a couple of new kind of series that combine fantasy palettes, but also some other variations of fantasy palettes, things that are similar, but not quite the exact concept. I have a couple of ideas in mind and things based off of what people have suggested. So I thought that those could be some fun things, and that way I can still do sort of palette designs, but it's not as intensive as doing like complete original concepts, which is really what takes up the most time, is coming up with the concepts and then trying to make it work and trying to do the whole actual creation of it. It does take time. I want to do more research-based stuff, so that's definitely happening. People keep mentioning the trademark video I did a few weeks back, and I will be doing more of those. The thing is, I can't do them, again, weekly. There's just not enough trademarks to talk about. So I will be doing it monthly, and then doing it more often if something else happens. Like, it was like the case with the Naked Cherry palette, when I had done the research on the Naked Cherry and Naked Honey, and I found those trademarks and talked about it, and then I did the Naked Cherry video like a couple days later when I actually had like the photos of the palette. So if something like that comes along, I would definitely do like a more special video. And then people suggested like follow-up to that, which would be talking about what the product actually ended up being once they're actually released. And it's hard to know timelines with trademarks. Sometimes it can be a very new trademark, which means the product may be very far away from completion. Or it could mean that the product's right around the corner. It's really hard to tell. Sometimes trademarks expire as well. Sometimes they put the trademark through and they end up doing nothing with it, which is also very interesting and something else that I want to talk about. And I want to do more research because those are some of the most fun videos that I've done because I enjoy doing research and I have access to a lot of databases and stuff to do research from because I work at a library, so it makes it very, very easy for me to get the information I would need to make those videos happen. I'm going to use the Biba palette, by the way. But yeah, it makes it very easy to get access to that. The hardest part is knowing where to start. Like a lot of people wanted to see sequels to videos I'd done in the past, like brands that disappeared or brands that no longer exist or products that no longer exist. And it's hard to do that without a starting place because I'm like, okay, I could definitely do research, but I need the brand. And it's hard to always remember a brand that doesn't exist anymore. So I'm trying to find ways to do research. Like I'm trying to reference old magazines to see what kind of ads are in there or what was, you know, written in the beauty section, what specific brands were referenced at certain times, and then I can go from there and kind of see like, okay, what happened to this brand? Did this brand change its name? Did it kind of get absorbed by another company? Or is it just completely gone? So that's kind of the angle I want to approach some of those things from. So if anybody has any particular suggestions, whether they would like research done on a particular brand that maybe you enjoyed, or maybe the history of a product or a product line. Like one thing I was thinking about looking into and doing maybe a little video about is NARS and the NARS Orgasm collection, because I thought that might be interesting to kind of read a little bit more about it, because I realized myself I don't know a lot about the history of that product. And there's other things too. I thought I could do like maybe like 5 interesting facts of like a brand's history or something. But again, I'm not sure where to start. So definitely open to feedback for stuff like that. And if there's any kind of research-based topics that you'd be interested in hearing me talk about and hearing me dive into, I'm always open to that. It's the same thing like with the trademark videos. I open it up to a lot of people to be like, hey, tell me what you would be interested in hearing. What kind of brands would you like me to look into? Now, there's certain things that I can't look into, like with trademarks. A lot of people were wanting me to kind of leak things from indie brands, which one, I don't think I would do even if I somehow got my hands on the product ahead of time, but smaller brands don't tend to trademark things either. So you're not gonna have that kind of trail like you do with the big brands with the big bucks. But I'm definitely open to any of those kind of suggestions. People had wanted to see more like multiple looks, one palette, more palette bingos, more random makeup challenges. That stuff I really enjoy doing, so definitely something I want to do more of because it's a lot of fun to do those kind of random makeup challenges, more looks from different decades, so referencing that 1980s makeup book that I have, I will do more looks from that. My eye look isn't finished, by the way. I just really wanted to dive into the blush. I'm using a custom MAC blush palette, and this is kind of what I've been doing daily, is a very simple eye look with the Biba palette, and then some blush draping with like a variety of these MAC blushes that are very neutral, not as bold as like some of the blush draping I've done before with like the hot pink and the bright purple. So I know I just lost my train of thought. The look-based stuff, so stuff on different decades, and I have Kevin Aquan's book, The Making Faces, so I thought that could be fun to dive into that as well and do some sort of like 90s recreations. I have some magazines from different decades and times in history, so I thought it could be interesting to even just like recreate like an old Maybelline ad from like 2000 or something and look at what the makeup trends were then compared to what they are now. So I have a few ideas in that way, and I'm very grateful for everybody for giving their suggestions and ideas. And I'm trying to think of more like chatty kind of discussion videos. People seem to like my ranking video, so I think I'm going to try and do more of those. I just don't know what to do first. Although I think I need to declutter some stuff first and do like my blush and highlighter declutter, and then do a ranking video afterwards of maybe just like the entire collection, because people have been interested in seeing what I have, but I think I need to like weed through some of that old stuff that is just taking up space first, and then take my time and get to the ranking video and not kind of rush it, because I want to actually explore some of these products that I kind of have neglected for a while. So yeah, I'm definitely looking for suggestions for chatty videos as well, where I can talk about, you know, current makeup favorites, or talk about sort of maybe my experiences tanning, or talking about favorite products. I don't really want to get into like least favorite products. A lot of people have suggested anti-hauls. I've done a couple in the past, and I'm really hesitant to do anti-hauls as a permanent thing. And some people did say like the thoughts on new releases, and I used to do those, the like Would I Buy It series, because I find that that's sort of a better combination. It's one part anti-haul, and it's one part you know, just talking about new releases and just talking about why you would buy something. But you can get more pro and con in a video like that than you can with like an anti-haul. And some of the loudest criticism, shall we say, has been from anti-hauls that I've done, and I feel like people just ignore the disclaimers. And I always say, like, this is not about talking about the positive aspects of a product. This is entirely about talking about why you wouldn't need something. And there would always be people who would be in the comments arguing about it, and then people would be going off to other places and arguing about it, about how like I was being judgy and how I didn't cover certain topics, and like, yeah, not everybody has a whole bunch of makeup. And it's like, yes, I know but this is the point of the anti-haul. It's not talking to a person who has one eyeshadow palette and it's like, yeah, you don't need this. Anti-hauls, from my perspective, are talking to people who perhaps have a tendency to overspend, or purchase things because of marketing, or because like an influencer is telling them to do it, and not necessarily because it's what they actually want. And that's how I was always approaching sort of those kind of videos, with the, okay, let's focus on those things. And one of the ones that keeps getting referenced like over and over again, and I've seen it come up like over the years, basically since I did this anti-haul, which was like 2 years ago, I think. I've seen it come up. It was when I talked about the Petite Heat palette from Urban Decay, which was a small version of the Naked Heat palette, and it was just matte shades. And I actually like looked into it and saw that the matte shades were basically interchangeable from the shades that were in the palette. So my argument was, if you have the Naked Heat, you don't need the Petite one, because you would be duplicating the shades. So of course there's people saying, well, not everybody has the Naked Heat, not everybody has a lot of orange eyeshadows. It's a great tiny palette for traveling. It was always like the frequent comment. And I'm sorry, the full-size palette doesn't take up that much more space than the smaller palette. And the argument about travel was always so weird to me, because it was like, how often are you really traveling that this one particular palette is going to be the thing you were always going to be bringing with you and using? Like, it was just kind of odd to me. But then people would constantly be bringing it up and referencing like the way that I would be talking about these things. So it just kind of got frustrating, because I feel like oftentimes my words get lost in translation, I guess. Like, people just hear what they want to hear, and unfortunately for me, it seems that a lot of the people who hear what they want to hear are also some of the loudest people that go off to other places and start repeating stuff that's not necessarily true, or it's their impression, which isn't what I meant or actually what I said, and it's hard to correct that, and then I get frustrated. So basically, long story short, I don't want to do those kind of videos because it just ends up being really not worth it to me to have to constantly justify myself. And I get that people like anti-hauls for those reasons, but that's why I think that I would be more inclined to do the would I buy it again, simply because I feel like that is a place where I can talk about pros and cons, whereas an anti-haul, it's not convincing somebody to buy something. So anyway, I will bring those back. They're very difficult to edit. They're very easy to film and difficult to edit. I kind of break my videos down into those categories, like things that are easy to film and easy to edit. Something like this is an easy to film and an easy to edit. So it's a very good option to throw into like the rotation, which is why I'm glad people actually like these kind of videos. And then there are videos that are easy to film but hard to edit, and those would be things like the would I buy it, anything that involves a lot of like b-roll footage, so anything that would require any other video clips overlay or pictures, which would be the would I buy it when you're showing like what the product looks like that you're talking about. When you do close-ups in any kind of a video that's like maybe more time consuming, they're not necessarily harder to film, but they can be harder to edit if you have to, you know, splice in those images of the products as well. And then there's videos that are difficult to film and easy to edit, and I'd say those are ones that are more of the research-based stuff. So they're difficult to film because they require more work. So like the fantasy palettes are difficult to film. I mean, it does require a little bit of editing, special thing. I didn't like what happened there with the eye stuff. It takes a little bit more, but like it's more prep, I guess, than filming. That's what makes it more difficult, is because I can't just decide I'm going to do that kind of video. Like I could decide at any moment and be like, yeah, I'm gonna sit down and do my makeup on camera, and there we go, done. But if I want to do a fantasy palette video, I have to do the work that making the fantasy palettes happen first, and then I can feel like I'm missing something, but I mean, this is a very casual kind of look. Anyway, it's just more prep work. Even the research videos, like the trademark videos, anything that requires more work, they're difficult to film because I can't just spontaneously decide to do it. And then there's the ones that are difficult to film and difficult to edit, and I put in something like lipstick roulette or something like that. Difficult to film, difficult to edit, such a huge process, and actually something I've had a few people recommend I bring back, and I've been thinking about bringing it back to help me go through some of my products. But I know it's going to be a challenge because that's applying the lipstick, showing the lipstick, taking the lipstick off, and then going through all of those, however many shades, doing that whole like swatch process of it, and then actually filming the part talking about it, and then having to edit it all together. So anyway, I kind of break all those videos down, and I feel like most of the ones that I'm looking at right now are the first three. I don't really have a lot of videos in that last, like difficult to film, difficult to edit category. And I want to have a good mix of things though, because I want to be able to try and upload more. And the way that I can do that is if I can do a video, say like this, where I'm getting ready, and then I can film another video afterwards, which is actually what I'm planning on doing with this, just to take advantage of like the time and the fact that my makeup is already done. So I feel like I'll be going back to work, like at work as well, because it's amazing how much time you lose just like travel and everything else, because when I'm home and like my work day is over and I want to film, I'm right here, as opposed to when I'm in work and then I'm leaving work and I'm waiting for a bus and I'm getting back, and it's, you know, an hour and a half after work is over and I get home and I'm tired and I just want to relax for a little bit, and the next thing I know, like the night has disappeared. I'm gonna put lashes on because the look is very simple. It didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to. I think it was just because I got too caught up talking, but let me get my lashes. Right, so I'm not sure if I want to do like very ginormous lashes or like more fluffy, subtle lashes. I'm thinking the fluffier, subtle lashes, but also there's a big part of me that's like, just do it, just do the big ones. I'm very excited to try these. They're gonna be way too big for my eye, I'm pretty sure. Just trying to test them out a little bit. I never cut my lashes the first time I wear them because I always like to apply them one time to see where the issue lies. Like, is it too far in the inner corner? Do I need to trim a little bit? But I don't like to do that till I've worn them once, or at least applied them once. So we shall see how this goes. So anyway, back to work. I'm already going in 2 to 3 times a week, and it's possible that I will be going in more come September, which would just mean that my filming time will be once again sort of limited. I've been trying to make the best of my time as much as I possibly can, but things are kind of getting back to normal here-ish, you know, the new normal. I know it's very different in other places, and it's very difficult to compare. Where I am, there are 5 active cases, so very different from other things, other places, other countries. 'Cause, you know, I think we were pretty ahead of things in Canada, and especially where I am in Nova Scotia, we were pretty ahead of things. So I'm very grateful for that. Doesn't mean things aren't like a little scary and nerve-wracking, but I don't know how it would feel like to be in some of these other places, but having like 5 active cases, it really doesn't feel that significant, you know, and we're taking all the necessary precautions and everything. My son starts school in September, and that's gonna be weird because one, it's a new experience that he's starting school. That's crazy. I love it. But yeah, so my son's starting school, and that's insane because I can't believe that he is going to be 5 really soon, and he's starting school and doing that whole growing up thing, and it's nerve-wracking anyway. In a normal climate universe, it would be nerve-wracking, but the fact that all this other stuff's going on, it's even scarier. So trying to balance all that stuff and those feelings and those thoughts as they're coming. But you know, trying to make the best of situations as possibly can. My boyfriend and I are celebrating our 1 year the end of August, and we decided to take a little trip in our province just to kind of celebrate and to take a little like mini vacation, and we're very much looking forward to that, and we're very fortunate that we are able to do that. And it'll be like it's funny because we took a vacation in March, and that was the last sort of thing before everything got shut down, locked down. These lashes are very, very bold and dramatic, and I'm very much loving them. I can't think of anything else that this look needs. A very, very basic look with the Neutral Biba palette and just like some minor blush draping, which is what I wear, or what I've been wearing in my day-to-day life when I go to work without the lashes, and even without any lipstick, it's usually just lip balm. And I have been enjoying just like that little bit of blush draping and kind of keeping things more concentrated, like bringing it down lower, my eyeshadow and stuff, and blending it right into the blush, and just, I like it. I know it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I enjoy it, so. But yeah, I'm very excited for our little mini vacation, and I'm looking forward to having some time to, you know, relax and explore the beautiful province I live in a little bit more. And I am excited to try some new video ideas, or just come up with some new things. I'm trying to like tease things a little bit without being like outright this is what it is, because things might still change, and I do have a little bit of fear of like some of my concepts being taken before I get the chance to do it. Like, I have absolutely no issue with anybody doing anything, and a lot of the things like that I'm doing are even spin-offs of things that other people have done, and then I'm taking my own ideas. But I've been burnt in the past by like being really excited about like projects and ideas and sharing them in detail, and then before I get a chance to share them myself, somebody else has done it, and then it becomes this thing where people start accusing me of like stealing my own ideas. Anyway, yeah, not worth it. But I'm very excited for some new video stuff, and I, as always, would love to hear from you. And if you have any other suggestions, ideas, things that you would like to see me do, things you would like to see my take on from things maybe that other creators do, other videos that you like, I have a lot of ideas right now that I want to work through. Like I'd say I have a list of probably 25 to 30 solid video ideas, but I'm always open to any kind of suggestions, any kind of feedback at all. It would really help me kind of grow and just make content that you enjoy watching, which is part of the fun. It's one part fun for me to do stuff and one part fun that you actually enjoy what I'm doing. So if I can strike that balance, that's great. And I know there's technical problems and I'm trying to fix it. It's just a challenge, and especially a challenge on a budget. So anyway, I'm doing my best. I really am trying, and as always, feedback is great. 2 thumbs up. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Stay safe. I love you. And hopefully we get to talk soon. Bye.